everyone. Thanks so much for being here. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces pop through, so thank you for joining. I'm also seeing a lot of new names come in, so welcome and thank you for spending some time with us today. We're so thrilled that all of you could join our discussion on the significance of events for B2B marketers and why they are no longer optional for your business. My name is Carolyn Johnson. I'm the Vice President of Sales for North America at MyOutreach, and I'm joined by my teammate, Nicole Gillen, who is one of our Senior North America Account Directors.
Hi, everyone. We're so excited to have you part of this discussion today. I'd love to see where everyone is joining us from. Anyone in the Tampa area like me? Anyone from Boston like Carolyn? Anyone from the UK?
We also have Egle Kubulkaite, who is based in the UK as well. She's from our marketing team. And so we'd love to see if anybody else is from the UK or EMEA or APAC regions. All right, so in today's webinar, we are going to discuss the impact of events for B2B marketers and why they are no longer optional in your marketing strategy. We will also touch on event trends across the industry, key details to focus on, which will increase your event ROI, what our approach to in-person and virtual events looks like, and we'll also leave time for Q&A at the end. So please don't hesitate to send any questions or thoughts along the way through the chat. All right, let's jump into it. So recent studies have proven that B2B marketing events are more impactful than ever before. In 2026, our industry is planning to spend about 1/3 to 1/2 of annual marketing budgets on events, including trade shows. But our industry has also witnessed a transformative shift over the years from large-scale gatherings like big conferences to more exclusive, intimate experiences known as micro events. These smaller, often invite-only gatherings are redefining the way we think about event marketing, and they're becoming much more popular each year, with 20% of marketers planning to increase spend on VIP customer events like in-person executive roundtables, customer appreciation events, or custom small group experiences. So now I'll toss it to Nicole to explain why micro events should really matter to you.
Thanks, Carolyn. There are several reasons why small gatherings are delivering massive benefits. The first is that typically these events include only a dozen to a few dozen participants, and the intimate setting allows companies to foster a real sense of personal connection, networking opportunity, and thoughtful discussion with their most important contacts. No other marketing tactic can even come close to offering this type of focus engagement with your customers or prospects. Where thought leadership is shared, your top customers feel seen, heard, and appreciated. Real relationships and partnerships are strengthened and trust is solidified.
That's a really great point, Nicole. In fact, according to a recent study by Freeman, 77% of professionals say their trust with a brand increases following an interaction at a live event. And 66% of buyers say they become more likely to purchase a product or service after experiencing that type of meaningful interaction.
That honestly doesn't surprise me at all. Number two, small-scale micro events also allow for a more focused agenda, where it can be tailored specifically to a niche audience, making it easier for attendees to contribute to discussions, ask questions, and share their insight. This will create a more dynamic and interactive experience and will add much more value for your attendees. The third reason why micro events are so beneficial is they are much more manageable and cost-effective compared to large industry events. This allows you to get creative, deliver an amazing and meaningful experience to your guests that mirrors your brand values, even with smaller budgets. Lastly, sustainability is a very important factor for attendees in our industry. Smaller scale events give us much more control to make decisions that make our events more eco-friendly.
Yeah, really, really great points, Nicole. And something that's so important to realize is that in a post-COVID world with virtual work environments and relationships and AI automation being increasingly present, attendees are craving real connections. They want quality experiences, networking value, and relevant agendas. So here's how you can make sure you're focusing on the right things that matter most within your events to deliver the best possible experience to your attendees.
The first is lean towards intimacy versus booth space. In a recent study, 50% of B2B marketers in our industry confirmed that branded micro experiences like happy hours, curated dinners, executive roundtables, and invite-only events are prioritized over traditional trade show booth space because it keeps your audience intentional and high quality and provides the opportunity for real connections to be made versus forgetful quick conversations in passing. Quality of the interaction far outweighs quantity.
Yep. Also, the agenda of your event should be focused around thought leadership and or experiential learning. It should never be structured around a hard sales pitch. This is what will keep your audience engaged throughout the event and interested in future conversations when your sellers are following up post-event.
Another best practice is to encourage dialogue and leave ample time for networking. 75% of organizers and attendees rate networking at in-person executive events as highly valuable and effective. During virtual events, as 47% of attendees like to participate in chat, poll, and Q&A opportunities.
Mhm. And finally, host the event in an intimate, polished, memorable location. Location is everything because it's what gives the first impression to your guests. It sets the tone and it creates the environment and energy of your event. A well-chosen venue will also significantly influence your guests' length of stay and level of engagement. The venue's design, decor, and layout should align with the event's purpose and goals and create an atmosphere that reflects both your company's and that city's values, charm, and standards. Also, make sure you can rent out a private room or section of the venue so there are no distractions during your event. Now, in addition to the importance of an amazing, intimate venue, a thought-provoking interactive agenda, and the prioritization of networking opportunities, we have some additional do's and don'ts to help your event stand out and increase your attendance rates.
All right, starting with the do's. Be sure to provide structured networking opportunities. I know we just talked about networking on a previous slide, but we want to highlight the importance of making this a structured, intentional part of your agenda.
This is a really great point. So don't simply assume that having a group of executives in a room will lead to effective networking. You need to promote this as part of the event's objectives, block out specific time for it, and make it easy for your attendees to start a dialogue with one another.
We also would recommend distributing name tags. Have the attendees sit in groups based on similar hobbies, character traits, or things they'll want to talk about. You could also provide icebreakers for your guests to have fun with.
Another thing that you want to do is plan on giving a short presentation that showcases your company's or your technology's value, mission, or impact on the industry. You don't want this to be a full demo or a hard pitch, but a high-level informative presentation is often really helpful for the attendees so they can start visualizing how to utilize you more within their business.
Number 3, offer something to attract attendees and then keep them engaged once there. This could be a Michelin star meal, a complimentary beverage, live entertainment, celebrity meet and greet, or some other unique and memorable experience.
Yep. Number 4, promote that you'll make getting to and from the event easy for your guests. This could mean offering complimentary valet or transportation to and from the event. You want to give registered executives as few reasons as possible to bail at the last minute.
We also recommend an incentive for attendees who bring a relevant colleague as their plus one. Some ideas could be the first drink is on us if you bring a plus one, be entered into a raffle or receive a free swag item if you bring a plus one.
Also, a recent trend that's becoming more and more important to attendees is the eco-friendliness of an event. In a recent report by BoFu, they confirmed that about 1 in 5 attendees will pay attention to events that are environmentally sustainable, and they factor this in when deciding whether or not to attend. So if prioritized by marketers, it'll send a strong message to your audience that you care about the future and about the well-being of your audience. And it's not that hard to prioritize this. You could do things like ensure the vendors you work with use sustainable sourcing and delivery practices. Plan a menu that uses food grown or produced by local companies. Take advantage of seasonal produce, vegetarian options, imperfect or organic foods. You also can donate leftovers to a local food bank. And if you're going to have swag, give items that are environmentally conscious or from a local artisan. You also can incentivize your guests to use public transportation to get to and from the event. And finally, don't forget to communicate your sustainability efforts to the attendees, both before and during the event.
Finally, have a photographer or videographer at your event to capture the energy in the room and the connection being made. You'll be able to use those photos on your website, social media pages, or blog posts, or in case studies, or even in promotions for future events.
So the don'ts are pretty self-explanatory, but we will go through them. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, do not present a hard pitch or give a full demo of your solution during your event. The second the audience feels that they're being sold to, you're going to lose them.
Avoid hosting your event on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, or during a holiday week. Don't forget to incorporate branding, signage, or your color scheme into your event. The attendees should never forget who's hosting them.
I always actually love it when the hosting company will offer some kind of branded mocktail or cocktail that includes the company's color scheme. I've seen that a few times and it lands very well with the audience. Another thing is don't overload the agenda or let the event run long. And definitely don't carve into the networking time because you want a few extra minutes to run long with your presentation. Make sure you protect that networking time.
And don't underestimate the amount of time and thought that goes into planning. Even a small scale event, we recommend giving yourself at least 8 weeks to plan.
Yep. And finally, do not whiff on finding that perfect venue space. So as you can see, there are so many details and special nuances to consider with a micro event. They can become very time consuming and costly to manage. So if all of this sounds really interesting to you, but it feels overwhelming, or you don't have the internal resources to tackle something like this, or you don't have the experience, or you just don't know where to start, we are absolutely here to help. This is what we do best, especially on a global scale. There's 4 different types of events that we can help you with: executive roundtables or small scale, fully managed events, delegate acquisition, fully managed custom events, and virtual events. But before we dive into these, it's important to highlight some of the key differentiators about our approach that we apply towards all 4 of these services. The first thing I want to mention is we have a growing global B2B audience network of over 140 million contacts in the tech industry. So if we did partner with you on an event across North America, EMEA, APAC, or Latin America, we would utilize this network to deliver attendees to your event who would match your ICP and be decision makers. 2, our 2 largest priorities are experience for our clients and for our clients' event attendees, and also targeting accuracy. Across all services that we offer, we have a lead accuracy rate of over 99%, which highlights our attention to detail when it comes to ICP matching and in the effectiveness of our manual outreach and QA processes when acquiring and vetting your leads. And finally, we don't incentivize any of our leads. So any attendees we generate for your events will not only match your ICP, but will be genuinely interested in being there because your content or your agenda resonates with them and they have a need to learn about your solutions. So now we will provide just a quick breakdown across each of those 4 event offerings that I mentioned a minute ago. I'll kick it to Nicole.
Awesome, thank you. Starting with executive roundtables, this is one of our flagship services. These are intimate, fully managed, invite-only events that offer you the opportunity to experience deep engagement and spark high-value discussions with those key decision makers, allowing you to build long-term relationships, gain loyalty, and solidify trust. We handle all the logistics, heavy lifting, and special details of the event, meaning we select the perfect venue, coordinate the meal and beverage service, provide a photographer, take care of valet or transportation, and we also deliver at least 10 attendees who match your ICP. So all you have to do is show up and make the connections.
Delegate acquisition is another service that we offer to support events that you are fully managing, sponsoring, or hosting if you fear that you might not reach your attendance goals. So we can help by identifying nearby professionals within our network who match your ICP and we'll invite them to your event. And if interested, we'll provide the transportation to deliver them. And you only pay for the ones who match your ICP and show up. We also offer fully managed custom events like golf outings, sports arena suite rentals, celebrity or athlete meet and greets, yacht outings, wine and bourbon tastings, and other types of custom tailored events to give your top customers or prospects an unforgettable, often once in a lifetime experience that reflects your company's spirit, passions, and commitment to your partnership with these executives.
And finally, if mid-funnel pipeline is a goal of yours, or you have a solution to demo in front of a live audience, and we can support you with our award-winning Demo Day virtual event services. Our demo days are produced to look like a news broadcast and come fully managed with a polished moderator and guaranteed registrations. All you need is to provide the subject matter experts, agenda topics, and a few slides.
And what we've actually seen the most successful marketers do is prioritize both in-person and virtual events in their annual marketing strategies, which will allow them to connect, build trust, and nurture low funnel leads through the in-person event experiences, while also generating new high quality mid-funnel leads through the virtual events. So this approach of prioritizing both tactics will keep your pipeline full of warm, qualified, and genuinely interested leads throughout the year. So if any of you would like to learn more, or if you could use some support, Nicole and I and the entire team at MyOutreach would absolutely love to speak with you. Our contact information is posted on the next slide, but first, just with the couple of minutes that we have left, I wanted to kick it back to Egle and take a look at some of the questions that might have popped through.
Hello, everyone. So yeah, we have a couple of questions. First one is by S. How do I know if I should plan an in-person event versus a virtual event?
Terrific question. I'll get this one. Virtual events should be a complement to your in-person event strategy, not an alternative. The most successful B2B marketers utilize both types of events, typically with a 2-to-1 ratio of 1 virtual event for every 2 in-person events. And this is for different reasons. In-person executive events are most effective way to intimately connect with your VIP clients, key decision makers, and high priority prospects. This will give you the best opportunity to strengthen your relationships, fuse true partnerships, and build trust. Virtual events are incredibly effective at generating new high quality mid-funnel leads and provide an opportunity to educate the audience of value and benefits of your products or services. When both of these events are prioritized, you'll be successfully solidifying retention, loyalty, and trust when also funneling new qualified leads into your pipeline.
Thank you, Nicole.
That was a great question.
Another question. How can I utilize AI to enhance the event experience for attendees?
Oh, that's another really great question. I can take this one. AI can actually be used a variety of different ways for event planning. You can use AI for event marketing and communications, for agenda and content design, as well as for analytics and measurement. So to break that down, one of the best ways to use AI is for research while you're in the planning phases of your events. Different AI prompts could be used to identify hidden gem venues in a particular city, or to find team building ideas, or just to help you understand what cultural things the locals from that area care about that you could build into your presentation. Different prompts that you could consider using could be things like, based on my target audience in XYZ city, what kind of unique event experiences would the locals want to have? Or what kind of messaging would catch the attention of locals in this city and get them to register? Or even what would make attendees want to bring a +1 or a peer to this type of event? You could also use various AI prompts to identify speaking topics that would resonate best based on what trends, issues, or concerns your ICP cares most about. And you could use AI after your event to summarize insights and feedback that you've collected from surveys during your event, saving you a ton of time going through all that data afterwards.
Thank you, Carolyn. And I think we have time for one more question. What do you recommend for a post-event follow-up strategy so we don't drop the ball on those who attended?
I'll grab this one. I love this question because it's so important. The event isn't over after the room clears. The post-event phase is where you convert engagement into revenue and real ROI is measured. You'll need to have a well-executed lead nurturing strategy and speedy, relevant follow-up. I would recommend segmenting your leads into engagement level and interest. Then within 24 hours, you can send a thank you for attending email to your attendees. Maybe 2 to 3 days later, you'll want a personal outreach from a sales rep to the hot leads to try to schedule a follow-up call. About 4 to 5 days later, send targeted emails to the warm leads with relevant content like a recording of the event, case studies, testimonials, white papers, and then put all the attendees into a long-term nurturing campaign that focuses on providing value and relevant content.
Those were excellent questions. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And we're just about out of time. So just wanted to thank you, everybody, again, so much for joining today. We really hope that you found this conversation valuable. And again, our contact information is posted on this slide. So please feel free to scan the QR code to connect with us on LinkedIn. And we'd love your feedback. So please let us know what you thought of today's conversation. And if there's any way we can support you in the future, please absolutely reach out. We appreciate you guys. Take care.